Hi, my name is Yusuf Yagi and my email is yusufyagi90@gmail.com. Alright, today I'm going to be showing you how to connect your Cisco router to your cable modem and be able to use the internet. So this is how it's going to go. I have Time Warner cables, so Time Warner cables are my ISP, and it is going to a Motorola cable modem, which is a really dumb box. It has no GUI, nothing. You can't modify anything on the cable modem, so no settings at all. Then it's going to go my router, Cisco router. Then it's going to go to my switch. This is how I have it set up at home. And then it's going to go to my Linksys router, which I am setting it up as an access point right now. So we actually got quite a few things. Right now we're not going to worry about the access point nor the switch. We're just going to focus on the router, and because it's the most important thing, you can just plug in from your router to your laptop for now. Later tutorials I'll show you how to configure a switch, and then access point is really easy. Alright, so first things first, fresh router. I actually just did a right to erase on my previous video, so when it came out up, this is the prompt I'm in right now. So would you like to enter initial configuration dialog, and we're going to hit no. It's going to ask us, are you sure? I believe, kind of like a Microsoft thing. Maybe, maybe not. No, I am wrong. Okay, it's good to be wrong sometimes. Alright, we're gonna wait for that to do whatever it does. Alright, enter a couple of times. Alright, there we go. Now first things first, we have to go into the enable mode. I'm going to quickly just go ahead and go into configuration privilege mode, config T, and I'm going to do a enable secret Cisco. For this video it's going to be Cisco and enable secret. Make it a habit to secure your router. It's always best practice. Okay, so right now we're already in the privilege mode. Let's go ahead and enter the interface that is going to connect to the cable modem. So what I have is basically simple. I have 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, GI 0, 0 and GI 0/1, gigabit Ethernet 1, gigabit Ethernet 0 and 1. Okay, so 0 is going to go out to the cable modem, and this is going to go into your internal network. It's either going to be your switch, your access point, or just directly to your laptop. So I'll just type node. Okay, so let's go ahead and minimize this right now and come back over here. Alright, so we're in the config T mode, privilege mode. We're going to go ahead and enter the first interface, which is 00, that we're going to be using. We're setting up its INT for interface, GI 0/0. So we're in that right now. We are going to go ahead and not assign this this port an IP, but we're going to have it grab a IP. So basically it's going to be a DHCP client. So IP address and tab if if you're typing like address and there's nothing else with the same amount of letters, just hit tab and it auto-fills it for you. And then DHCP. Enter. Now we also have to do a no shut to turn on the port. So port is reset and port is up. Okay, so exit. Now let's go ahead and just go interface GI 0/1. Okay, now we're going to assign this an IP address. So let's give this an IP address. We're going to be using 192.168.0.1. And we're going to give it, we also need to specify the subnet mask, which is going to be just a normal 255.255.255.0.10. Enter and no shut or no sh or whatever you want it to be. Alright, so enter, exit, can't type anymore, just Control Z. That's better. Alright, so going back down, it keeps going up and down, up and down. It's probably going to stay down because I don't think I have anything connected to it. Okay, so let's do a show IP interface brief. And as you can see, Gigabit Ethernet 01 has an IP address. It's okay, method, manual, down. For Gigabit Ethernet 00, it's unassigned as DHCP. As I told you, the switch, the modem I'm using is really dumb, so gotta unplug it, wait a couple of seconds, you see it goes down, and then plug it back in, if I can. And it's going back up. Alright, so while we're doing that, let's continue. We'll run this command again. Okay, it's changed to up, and it's gonna grab an IP address. It's going down again, up and down, and it's back up. Okay, so it's got an IP address of 192.168.100.10. It's going to change. Just give it a couple of seconds. It doesn't matter. Okay, so it will do it on its own. Okay, and it's doing it now. Reset the interface. Interface is back up and it grabbed an IP. Perfect. Alright, so as you can see, it grabbed an IP. I might actually end up blocking this IP from the video. Okay, so now what we have to do is we're going to be using DHCP. Some people like DHCP, some people don't. For the sake of this video and because of everybody that uses my network here in the apartment, I'm going to put DHCP, otherwise they're going to go mad. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to exclude IP addresses from the DHCP pool. So let's go ahead and get into the privilege mode and type IP DHCP excluded addresses and type the IP address, actually 0.1, which is the Gigabit Ethernet on the router itself, and then you can type that and just hit enter, or what you can do is, like what I'm going to do is just hit space and exclude another couple of IP addresses. It's basically a range, so I'm going to exclude 192.168.0.2 and 0.3. So I'm just going to go ahead and put 0.3. It's going to exclude 2 also. And the reason why I'm doing that is because my switch is going to have an IP address and my access point is going to have another static IP address. So I'd rather just have everything that is on my side have static IPs. Everything else can do whatever it wants. DHCP. Okay, so there we go. We just excluded 3 IP addresses from the DHCP pool. But hold on, wait, we still didn't set up our DHCP pool. So let's go ahead and type IP DHCP pool and then give it a name. I'm just gonna name it internal. Actually, internal. Right. Nope. Data. Since I also have one, might end up doing a voice pool. Okay, so now we're in the DHCP configuration. We're going to set up. We're going to tell it what network to the DHCP server is going to be for, and we're just going to go 192.168.0.0. That's the network ID for that network. You gotta know subnetting if you're playing around with bigger numbers and different numbers. And then we're going to use the regular subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Enter. Now we're also going to specify the default router, which is going to be the router itself, the Gigabit Ethernet 01, and we're going to do an import all, which I honestly forgot what the import all does. I think it grabs the configuration from the other ports and stuff and just includes it in the DHCP pool. Alright, now let's go ahead and type exit, and let's do a copy run start. Always make it a habit to do a copy run start, otherwise you'll lose your information. Alright, so now what I forgot to do was also set up the DNS server information. So let's actually go back. Config T, this will be good practice. IP DHCP pool data. Gotta be the exact same spelling, that way you can go back to your pool, not make a new pool. And we're going to type DNS server. I'm just going to do 4.2.2.2 and just leave it at that. There's 2.2.2.5. There's more than one DNS server. I'm just going to use this DNS server, which anybody can use, and exit. Now the fun part, access lists. So what we need to do is we need to configure an access list for our network. So access-list 101 permit IP and anything on this network, which is that, and with a wild mask card of 000255. I'm not going to explain wild mask cards right now, but basically if you've got I'll just do a brief thing. You've got 255.255.255.0 as your subnet mask. Basically all what you're doing is subtracting, so 255 from 255, so basically here minus 255.255.255.255, and it's actually the other way around. Just do this. Exit, control, and paste. Okay, so, and that will equal to being 0.0.0.255, and that's your wild mask card. Same thing, if your wild mouse card was 192 over here or whatever, just again subtract. Actually, it's supposed to be over here. And just subtract 255 from 192 and you'll get your wild mouse card. So let's go back and hit enter. Incomplete command. What am I forgetting? Let's see. Destination address, any, or host, any. We want it to go out. Okay, so enter, and then now we have to do padding. Padding is port address translation, kind of like NAT, but we're using NAT, PAT. Basically what happens is, since you're only using one IP, you've got one external IP. Say if you got 10 internal computers, you need them to be able to communicate out with the web without assigning each one an external IP, a public IP. So you would use PAT. Actually, I started getting to PAT a little more, and it's actually fun once you get to know how it works. So we're going to do PAT NAT, IP NAT inside source, and we're going to tell it what our access list is, which is 101, 101, and then INT, which is for interface, GI 0/0. Remember, 00 is going outside to our modem, which goes to our ISP, so that's outside, and then overload, enter. Now we're going to have to set up NAT, inside and outside NAT. So we're going to go ahead and enter the interface, not IP, INT GI 0/0, and that's going to be IP NAT outside, because that's going to the outside world. And hit enter, give it a couple of seconds. Okay, from this prompt, you can go ahead and jump into the other one. Usually I don't like it, but for this video I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. So you can just go ahead and type INT GI 0/1, and now you're in that interface configuration. So INT GI 01 IP NAT inside, because that's our inside network. Now let's go ahead and type exit. Now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to tell the router that any IP that it does not recognize, meaning like, let's say an IP address of 10.10 or whatever, an IP address that it can't recognize, to just immediately go ahead and funnel it out a specific port. So we can go into the web and kind of like google.com or anything. Otherwise we'll just get stuck. So IP route, and this is the exact term is gateway of last resort. So this is our gateway of last resort. Any IP address 0.0.0.0 with any subnet mask, which is 0.0.0.0. We're setting up the gateway of last resort. GI 0/0, which is going out to our ISP. Hit enter. Alright, and I think that is it, if I remember correctly. Let's try it. Let's go exit. Let's ping Google. Hold on. Ping google.com. Domain server. Come on. And it pings it. Okay, it just failed one. That's fine usually because it doesn't know where to route first time. If you go ahead and do that again, it'll work. 5 out of 5. Ping facebook.com, and it should work. Don't bother pinging microsoft.com because they don't have ICMP enabled. It's going to fail. But there we go. So if I go ahead and right now connect my laptop, it should work. Sometimes it does not, and reason being, actually, I don't even know where this goes. Yeah. Okay, too many cables. Sometimes it doesn't work, so what you have to do is you just have to go ahead and reload your router for it to be able to work. We just did way too many configuration changes. And always remember to do a copy, run, start. Alright, thank you for watching, and enjoy studying or learning more about routers and CCNA and all that good stuff.